We're seeing a really interesting shift in the real estate world right now, something that could actually change how you buy or sell a home down the line.
Hmm.
It involves, a huge player, Zillow, and a brand new rule they've put in place about when a property has to go public online.
Yeah, it does seem like the digital landscape is, well, constantly changing, doesn't it? And these big platforms, they have such a massive impact on how a home industry works.
Exactly. And that's really what we want to dig into today. This new Zillow 24-hour listing rule. The goal here is to, really understand what this is about and what it might mean for you, whether you're maybe thinking about buying or perhaps selling.
Right.
And to help us figure this out, we're looking really closely at the insights of one particular expert, Greg Hague.
Ah, yes, Greg Hague. He brings a really unique and I'd say deeply informed perspective here. You're talking about someone with 50 years in the real estate business, half a century. He's seen it all, practically.
Wow, 50 years.
What? Yeah, and he didn't just watch from the sidelines. He founded and leads a company that, well, Inc. magazine listed as one of the fastest growing in the entire U.S. His real estate firm, #1 ranked in the Western states.
Okay, so serious credentials.
Absolutely. And Realtor magazine has put him in the top 25 realtors in America. That's out of over 1 million agents.
Out of 1 million. That's incredible.
It really is. And get this, he's also an attorney.
Oh.
Not just any attorney. He actually scored #1 on the bar exam.
#1. Okay, so he understands the industry and the legal side inside out.
Precisely. That combination gives him an exceptionally sharp view on things like this new Zillow policy.
Okay, so let's get to the core of it. What is this new rule that has someone like Greg Hague sounding the alarm? On the surface, it seems kind of simple.
It does. Deceptively so, perhaps.
It basically says if a real estate agent markets a home publicly, like any public marketing, even just a quick post on social media, maybe a coming soon mention.
Mm-hmm. Any public whisper, really.
Yeah, right. That listing has to be put on the multiple listing service, the MLS, and also on Zillow itself within 24 hours of that very first mention.
And if it's not?
If it's not, that listing gets permanently banned from Zillow. Forever.
Permanently banned. That's a strong penalty.
It's huge. And as Greg Hague points out, this isn't just some minor tweak to their website rules. He really frames it as a strategic power play by Zillow, one that could send ripples right across the industry.
Okay, so let's unpack that. How does Hague see Zillow's side of this? Or rather, how does he interpret their motivations?
Well, he starts by saying, Zillow presents itself as this super helpful website for finding homes, right? We all use it.
Sure, it's the go-to for many people starting a search.
But Hague argues its primary business, its main goal, isn't actually just showing you houses. It's designed to capture information about potential buyers, those leads, and then sell that information to real estate agents who pay them.
Right. That's absolutely central to Hague's whole analysis.
Mm.
He's saying that while the user experience, for the home buyer might seem like the main thing,
Yeah.
it's actually the engine driving their business model, which is selling those buyer leads. The more people browsing Zillow, the more potential leads they capture, and the more valuable those become to agents willing to pay Zillow for access.
And so, according to Hague, this 24-hour rule, it isn't really about making things fairer or better for buyers, even though Zillow uses language like a home marketed to any buyer should be marketed to every buyer. That sounds good.
And it sounds equitable, yeah.
But Hague sees it completely differently. He calls it, and this is a direct quote, a profit-driven industry control move.
Profit-driven and industry control.
Yeah.
So Hague's view is that Zillow fundamentally wants more listings on its site, and it wants them faster.
Yeah.
Like now.
Exactly.
Because more listings mean more visitors, right?
Yeah.
More eyeballs, which generates more site traffic.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that creates more chances to capture and sell those valuable buyer leads to the agents paying for their Premier Agent program or similar services.
It's a cycle.
A cycle designed, in his view, purely to boost Zillow's bottom line and tighten its grip on the market data flow.
Okay, so if that's Hague's take on Zillow's motivation, what does he say about the impact on the people actually selling their homes? He sounds pretty fired up about this part.
Oh, he doesn't hold back at all. He argues that sellers should be, well, frankly, angry about this.
Angry. Why specifically?
His core argument is pretty fundamental. Sellers own the property. It's their asset, their investment. They carry the costs. So he believes they should have the basic right to decide how and when their home is marketed. They should be in the driver's seat.
And this new policy, Hague feels, just yanks that control away. It's like Zillow is dictating terms. Do it our way, list immediately, or you lose access to our audience.
That's exactly his interpretation. Do it Zillow's way or get shut out. And he points to some very specific, practical scenarios where this really hurts sellers.
Like what? Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about sellers who, value their privacy. Maybe they aren't ready to have their home blasted all over the internet the second they start thinking about selling.
Right, maybe they just want to quietly test the waters.
Exactly. Hague argues that shouldn't automatically trigger a mandatory public listing on a huge platform like Zillow within 24 hours. Some sellers prefer a much more controlled, private initial phase.
That makes sense. What else?
He also talks about sellers wanting to gauge buyer demand before fully committing. Maybe do a few private showings, get some early feedback, see what kind of offers might realistically come in without starting the clock on days on market on the MLS and Zillow right away.
Ah, yeah, because once it's officially listed, that clock starts ticking and buyers notice.
They do. This new rule basically eliminates that pre-marketing flexibility and the ability to make buyers feel special, like they are getting early access, according to Hague, has often proven to generate higher offers.
In fact, Hague put two reports in front of us, one by a publicly traded national real estate firm showing 2.9% higher prices for homes initially marketed off Zillow, and another report showing homes marketed using his 72 sold off Zillow process had a median sale price 5.8% higher than other local sales. So to kind of wrap up our deep dive into Greg Hague's analysis, he argues it limits choices for sellers, potentially muddies the waters for buyers, and primarily serves to strengthen Zillow's position as a dominant lead generator in the industry.
That sums up Hague's perspective perfectly. He paints this picture of a powerful platform using its influence to implement rules that, while maybe presented as beneficial for everyone,
Right.
ultimately serve its own strategic and financial goals, perhaps disadvantaging the very homeowners and home buyers using the platform. So that wraps up our deep dive today, looking into Zillow's 24-hour listing rule. Definitely food for thought.